At this moment, I would like to invite the coordinator of the Brazilian Human Milk Banks Network, Dr. João Aprígio. I would like to pass the floor to you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be back here. This afternoon was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We have learned a lot. Translation apologizes. The audio. I'm having internet connection problems. I apologize. And I believe I'm going to need somebody to help me. Maybe somebody can help me. My internet is really bad. I would like to invite our friends who are here in this session. Please turn on your cameras. Please turn on your cameras. Virginia, my internet is really, really bad. Virginia, can you help me out, please? Yes, sure, absolutely. Thank you. My internet is really bad. And so, moving on, I would like to invite the coordinator of child and breastfeeding, Janine. I would like to call you. The Vice President, Miriam Santos, the coordinator of Human Milk Banks, the National Reference Center for the HMB network, and also from the Prematurity Agency, Leticia. Well, welcome to this afternoon session, and we're going to discuss and reflect a little bit better of what else we can do based on everything that was presented today, all of the human milk banks of the Brazilian network. They shared with us how they were able to overcome the pandemic and what were the lessons learned, okay, that were shared with us up until now. So, as Dr. Miriam coordinated all of this session, all of this activity, I would like to pass the floor to her first. Only a few remarks, please, Miriam, in a few words. Dani, today the day was extremely fruitful and productive. We saw how our network is resilient. And even though facing many difficulties, we were able to innovate. And as we saw, all over Brazil, there was an increase in the collection of human milk, even though we had many, many difficulties. And how communication, I believe this was the greatest lesson that we learned, how communication done in a different way all of this time during the pandemic, and we still have a lot to learn, a lot to work, how to work with new ideas, novel ideas, with all of the federative entities and units, and how we can expand the use of apps, registrations online. And this is extremely important because more and more we need to guide the women on how to donate, and they are going to help a lot if they donate. Many, many ideas have been presented to us. I believe that after that, we are going to have lots of material to work on. Thank you, Miriam, so much. I'm going to pass the floor back to João. I believe he's going to be the moderator. I believe that your internet connection has been reestablished. Oh, it was a machine problem, a computer problem, and so my internet was good actually. So my computer was bad. Hi, Denise. Hi, Janine. Nice to see you. I had already seen Janine this morning. Many, many people cried. Some of the interpreters cried as well. And so, thank you so much. And so, well, dear friends, in fact, we are now moving towards the end of the event. And with an event such as this, with so much content, technical content, scientific content, the possibility of creating organizations, several types of organizations, how to use innovation technologies to improve the work that we do. I'm not going to reproduce the event. The event has been recorded. It's going to be made available to all of you. But I would like uh, uh, to ask your permission so that we can listen to Denise very briefly. I know because Denise did not have the opportunity to speak, well, hasn't had the opportunity to speak yet. And so the public that you represent, the audience that you represent. But before passing the floor to you, we have a very, very ambitious commitment. We would like to leave today at least with the main axis so that we can design a new and true project for our HMB network, starting from these reflections. And so the name was not chosen by chance, as Marco mentioned today. What can we do? What else can we do? And so we learned many lessons were learned, many suggestions were made. We're going to consider them, but in a very ambitious way. We're going to have to leave today in an objective way, having established what are going to be the main axes that we're going to use to design a first project that is going to go back to our collective, that is going to be shared, discussed and transformed in a project. Okay, in this, not in the size that we deserve, but in the size that our children and babies and moms deserve. And so more and more we need to help the moms and the mothers and the women. So we cannot end today's session without signing this commitment. Yes, I'm using inverted commas here, without establishing a commitment. And the network only exists to meet the demands, the health demands that we have, that our children have, that our babies have, that our mothers have. And they have this need, this special need. And so that's why, Denise, I would like to pass the floor to you, justifying what I said. Since you are so special, I would like to pass the floor to you. Thank you, João. Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon, Dr. Miriam, Dani, and to all of you who are listening to me.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very honored to be here, to be representing, bring the voice of the families that are those who are most benefited by that milk that is donated, which are the premature babies. So our NGO, Prematuridade, is an association of parents and people who work with these premature babies. And this has been a big problem. We're the 10th country with the number of premature births. And this is the greatest reason of mortality of children below 5. We have 340,000 families that have gone through this experience. So when there's a premature baby, there's a premature family, like we just say, and this is very relevant in Brazil. So many of these babies only survive due to the milk that is donated, and thousands of them only have favorable situations, good prognostics, and quality of life because they received donated milk instead of formulas. So milk saves lives, but also guarantees quality of life and it's not few of these babies. 15 million are born premature every year in the world. I don't know if it was said. I saw it in the morning. I didn't see all of it. So one is the day for the creating of awareness that can be of a situation can be fatal for babies, and which the human milk is a protection factor for intercotilite, and this saves lives. And Marco Antonio mentioned the pandemic increased inequalities and some difficulties that we've been having during the process of the care of those premature babies and of the family. So our role was to amplify information, disseminate more information, the importance that it is safe to donate, that despite the pandemic, this is important, all the care was taken, that this continue, and that this makes all of the difference to take information and many. And so we try to improve them in what we call this kind of information, Ministry of Health, and we followed very strongly the zero separation campaign because a lot of families are, many fathers cannot see their babies. We say that fathers and mother are not visits. And there was an official orientation of the WHO. You should only separate fathers from babies in the last case if there's a confirmation of COVID or if there's a risk, but only at the last case, because the presence of fathers, they are part of the process of care, and this will impact also in the production of milk of that mother, because she can feed her baby and she can then become a potential donator. She understood the importance of the donation of milk. And we worked very strongly with this campaign in Brazil. So I'd like to congratulate you once more that we can approach themes like this that are so important, that the right to adequate feeding, dealing with prematurity, infant mortality, and I would like to congratulate all that are, because this is something that makes us very proud as Brazilians, and we see this legacy for all of the world. And we can say that the network has a commitment with life. All of you should be congratulated, and I'm very honored to be here and so I can bring the voice of the families. Thank you, Denise, and I hope soon you don't have to talk about it in this way, that you're proud of being here to verbalize for the families. But you could do so in a different way. So I would like, and that you like to be part of the RBLH, and always when you talk, you can say you're the voice of these families and of our network. We only exist because these families exist. This is not a commonplace. This is this is our historical commitment, and we have to improve. And I'm a little bit concerned because we've gone over time, and the company that is helping us so much, um, that they can also, I'd like to be very thankful of them, the Pierre Traduções, for the partnership. It's more than a commercial transaction. I don't want to make this into a group therapy, because those that are more anxious speak more, but I believe I noticed in the speeches this afternoon some elements that reinforce previous perceptions of moments of meeting in recent past and situations that are longer. I remember when Rio lived through that calamity due to the strong rains that hit the mountainous areas of Rio. We had various hospitals without assistance, without naming cities. And our only milk bank at the time was covered by earth. And we understood we were not prepared to face crisis of that nature. After time, we talked about preparing, and suddenly we had the pandemic. We are learning and constructing in the middle one of the greatest, if not the greatest, sanitary or health crisis of the civilized world. So in reality, there were important expressions, but I believe that our commitment with learning in this pandemic is that we have to build a project to face these health sanitation issues or health crisis. In certain moments, there was no human milk available. So we cannot leave today without seeing and talking in a serious manner a public commitment that we have to format a project to create an emergency human milk bank stock for the Brazilian single health system. We had reports of situations from some regions that faced great difficulty in certain moments last year, and there was a lack of supply. So we cannot wait for other situations to happen. We have to be prepared. So I would propose, from what I took from the speeches, that we have the commitment of building this project. Maybe it's my perception, I might be wrong. For this a real movement to happen, it's a strategic axis, which I call more than infrastructure. I think we think need reinforcement in our logistics. We have to think fundamentally through two ways. Our communication channels with our clientele have to be really strengthened. We need to have mechanisms that ease our communication in the day-to-day with the population, or communication with kids, families, and I'm not referring to these campaigns of donation, for donation, which are very important. We need also to work the strategies to give publicity. So we have a campaign of a national character, specifically oriented to issues related to this movement that we have to carry out, which is a specific campaign for donation in all of the territory, and a little bit different of that which we normally do. That it bring in an extra ingredient of creating awareness that this which is donated will be for a stock, a emergency stock. If each bank in this country and this project that we're putting forth, when they get into this new campaign, sorry, I'm not talking about today's campaign, and it has to be something way bigger, which each bank can destine a percentage to this emergency stock. We need involvement of transport companies, because each that has a collection point that they might be able to transport in safely to Fiocruz in Rio, so that in the headquarters of these structures, with a team that is made be Brasília, Rio, São Paulo, Pernambuco, Paraíba, that we make a one big team and that we can process these in the labs so that this product can be transformed and made available for these moments when we have crisis. It's not to be used during routine. It is to establish an emergency stock. This is what's my perception. So that's I have the audacity of bringing a proposal of this nature. I put forth this proposal, and initially I would like, before handing over to Denise, to hear about what are we putting forth. Good afternoon. It's good to be here. I followed the panels, and like João, I made a lot of observations. These ideas of strategic stocks is something for calamity, is something we were talking about, but due to other sanitary crisis, health crisis, social crisis, we have sufficient advancement to think and with this audacity. So I think we have everything that is necessary, that which is a dream, to take it and make it real, to demonstrate exactly that. It's a project that has our support from the coordination, something that we find strategic and essential, way beyond what this moment of the pandemic, and things that we can get from the speeches of our colleagues. I think other points are become quite evident. The issue of the getting closer to donors. I think he felt that too. The idea that we can develop some kind of interface to help this those who want to donate those who want to receive. And we have apps that can do that. It's a technological tool, it's available, and needs to be adapted to a social context like we're working now. Integrated registries, we talk a lot about that, that in the beginning of a year, in a normal life, when people go on vacations, we have a reduction in donations because we connect the donor to the unit. If we had an integrated registry, she can donate anywhere she is. We're talking about a network about for anything, a network for the donors. It has to be a network in that sense. And another fundamental aspect, we have a lot of scientific articles that demonstrate the straightening of connections. The woman sees the connections. She knows that the milk that is donated will be used in the ICUs. She feels solidarity, but many times the moment of inflection of the decision is she when for some reason she needs the help of these milk banks. If she goes there for any issue as regards breastfeeding, and when she gets into contact with one of our professionals, and these professionals make all of the difference because it's from this contact we have that yes, a definite yes, and that lasts for many, many pregnancies and makes her a loyal donor. So this issue is so primordial that it has to go beyond the milk banks. This has to be in primary care. It has to be in this magic in these basic units. So this is another point. How we're able to create this same trust, technical of trust with the best professional position, a professional that's fully able How do we transfer this power in primary care, especially when it's in the primary care? We have those complaints. The woman arrives there for a consultation. She has problems breastfeeding. It hurts, or it's breaking, her skin is breaking up. So the way things are done in primary care, it's the best moment to capture that donor and to she can and with safety. And another issue, which is remote assistance. A lot of our colleagues mentioned this, and the creation of a matrix. This is something we've discussed. What is the role of the milk banks beyond its own structure? What should be go beyond its walls? There are many roles, and one of that is creating this matrix. I think we have a lot of potentialities that dialogue directly with these tools to overcome these challenges. I think there is material that is very rich for us to work in this perspective in a very pragmatic manner. This issue of emergency stocks for calamities, communication, of this network of donors, communication, information. Many people talked about these strategies of favoring the shortening of the distances between donors, milk banks, collection points. I think those are the key points so that we can go leap ahead, of course, with the limits of our abilities and legs that we challenged and that we improved. I think that's it. Thank you, Janine. Your contributions, as always, give us a lot of energy and gives us impulse. I think that we won't have the pretension. I Unfortunately we don't have much more time. I thank Pierre. We've gone over time already, and I try to take down the considerations and comments. Unfortunately, this is very rich what we're talking about, and I submit to you that usually everyone can manifest, speak out in the chats, do it through the YouTube or here as regards the proposal that we just said, that those that are here sitting to bringing this discussion, that we could meet as soon as possible after this event, so we can talk more focused, put this on paper, build a previous agenda, and bring the collective so that jointly we can have a discussion forum and from there build a proposal. I insist, I thank all that are here participating, Janine, partners, Miriam, Denise, Dani, but I thank everyone that is following us from the beginning. So feel like you are part of the RBLH. You're part of the network. I like to thank all, and I like to hand over with my apologies of having to interrupt such a rich discussion due to time constraints as we've gone over our contractual time. So please, Denise, you have the word for your final words.
Final remarks. Okay, thank you so much for the participation. And more, we are a network. Count on us, count on all of the families that are following up, all of the work that the network does, and so facing the new challenges. connecting to the mothers, with the mothers, everything that we're going to learn after these 3 days so that we can discuss. And it's a great honor and it's a great source of pride for us to be able to contribute with this great legacy. And so let's also pray and help
Obrigado, Denise.
the health of
Oh,
our premature babies. Thank you, Denise. Miriam? I believe that everything has been summarized at the end of the day, everything else that we can do, and also the way that we're going to do this. This group must get together, have a meeting, carry out an effort, and then take everything to the network. I'm very, very proud of the RBLH and to make the difference and all the difference in the lives of many children in Brazil and around the world. Thank you. Daniele, once again, the stakeholders and the players here in this network, we are working together so that we can work more and more, grow together more and more to help all the mothers and all the babies. And while Janina was speaking, many ideas came to my mind. And as Denise mentioned, we still have 2 days of the event, and these points that we are writing here, they are going to grow even more, and things are just going to improve, expand our ideas, improve our ideas, increase our responsibilities. Thank you. Janine? That's it. We have only warmed up. Yes. Oh, I believe we're going to have many discussions, a lot of intensity, many good proposals arising. And they're at the HMBs where things are truly happening. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you once again for this opportunity, for evolving, growing, and having these discussions with you. The work of each and every one of you is extremely important for the moms, for the babies. And at this moment that we're going through now, we are now having a value crisis. And so the network, reinforcing what I said this morning, is bringing this pillar that is very, very important. It's not going to be moved, it's not going to be destroyed. Even during this huge crisis, we are connected and glued to all of these human values, all of these values, and with a lot of wisdom. And so, if we have this on our side, we're going to go way farther. And the next few days are going to be incredible as always. And that's it, our network of hearts that are always connected, trying to improve the health of our babies.
perfeito. Peço desculpas caso esteja
Perfect.
cortando.
I apologize if my internet
Finalizar,
is
então.
breaking, so I would like to wrap up thanking all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Everything has been said and resaid, but it's a great source of pride for us to be part of the RBLH. And I couldn't wrap up today's session without praising our scientific sector, our scientists, our technicians and scientists who are responsible for innovations. And they have a high innovation capacity. And so, what we have been doing in terms of innovation is not by chance, it's a fruit of all of us, of everything that we have been building, of everything that we have built, everything that we have done, spreading scientific knowledge based on science. And so we are here to use the technologies. And a round of applause for the Unified Healthcare System, the SUS, which is our Brazilian public healthcare system and also our network of HMBs. So a great hug to all of you and congratulations for today. So a round of applause to all of us, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Obrigada, doutor.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Nós então agradecemos a presença dos palestrantes, de todos os
Thank
presentes.
you for all of the participants. Thank you to all of the participants here on Zoom, on YouTube. Okay, thank you to all of the panelists. Thank you.
Aí todo mundo com
Okay, so turn on your cameras, please. Okay. Enéas, thank you. Vlad is going to enable your camera.
Foram mais de 400 registros online de pessoas nos acompanhando.
So we had over 400 people watching us, attending the event, okay? Only today. Thank you. Thank you. See you tomorrow.